Hey everyone, welcome to fall semester. I'm Dr. Eckles. I will be your professor for BIOL 130, which is called Animal Science or Animal Biology, a Behavioral Approach. That's a very elaborate way of saying that we are going to be studying animal behavior for the rest of the semester. What I want to do in this lecture is what we would have done had we been able to meet on Zoom today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of our Canvas page, and then we're going to focus in on the syllabus, and I will show you what you signed up for. All right, so here's our Canvas page. If you click through the different menu items here on the left, you'll find first our Announcements tab. The very first thing I want to point out is that I tend to use the announcements quite a bit. You've probably seen that already. This is the primary way I'm going to be communicating with you. So make sure that you are getting these announcements as emails. That's something that should be happening by default. If you have not received these announcements as emails, you need to go into your settings, look under notifications, and make sure you have that option enabled. You want these announcements to be emailed to you as soon as I send them out. Okay? The announcements that you will get usually will be sent out on Mondays unless something urgent happens, like as what happened today. The announcements will contain a lot of introductory information for what we're going to cover that week. So this was your welcome announcement. It gave you some basic information that was critical to know before we even started class. The announcements that you get from this point forward on Mondays are going to look a little bit different. They will outline the topics that we are going to cover that day or that week. They'll have links to the PDFs of the lecture slides that you're going to need to look over and study. If I've already finished the lecture videos, there will be a link to the YouTube video for the lecture. And if there's any supplemental materials that I think will help you master the material, the links to it will be in that announcement. There will also be, in that announcement, links to the modules, which I have not launched yet because we don't need them until next week. The modules will contain organized content that you need for each particular topic we're going to cover. There will be links to all the important lectures. There will also be links to any assignments, any review materials, and anything else that you need to study in order to master the material for that part of the course. So keep your eye out for these announcements when I send them. And then when you come to our Canvas page, look for when the modules option shows up over here under announcements in our menu. You should get an email that's automatically generated by Canvas when the modules first go live. If you get that email, just come and check out what the modules look like, what kind of information is in them. All of it is meant to help you better understand the ideas that we're talking about. Okay? All right. For our class meetings, usually we are going to be meeting, as it says here, on Wednesdays from 11:45 to about 1:10 p.m. We may use all of that class time. We may only use part of it. The way that the course is going to be structured is I'm going to record lectures on video, give you the PowerPoints of the slides, and those are your two resources for the lecture material as a whole. When we meet once a week on Wednesdays, we are going to review that material, go over the basics of it, and then focus in on applying what I talked about in those lecture videos to actual questions I might ask you on the exam. So on Wednesdays, there's going to be a lot of talking between us. There's going to be a dialogue. It's one of the reasons it's so important that you come to those lectures on Wednesdays. We'll be doing practice problems, you'll be doing small group breakout sessions and working with the material. All of this is designed to help you better understand the content for the course so you do better on the exams, and so they're not hard for you. Okay? The way that I am taking attendance this semester is those Wednesday class meetings, so make sure you're there. I won't call names, but Zoom keeps track of who logs in and how long they stay for. So make sure you come to the lectures and you're present. If you log in and then just leave your computer, log in and walk away from it, it's going to be a little awkward when I separate you into small groups and breakout rooms because you'll be the only member of your group who's not at their computer. Okay? it's worth your time to stay too. I'm not just going to be talking at you. My hope is that I will be talking with you, just like if we were in the classroom together, right? So make sure I see you on Wednesdays in our Zoom room. How do you access Zoom? So over here, there's a link right underneath announcements. If you click on that, it will show you all of our class meetings for the rest of the semester, okay? In order to join, just go to the top meeting. That should be the one that's happening on the Wednesday in particular that you're trying to log in. Click the join button, and that will take you straight to our Zoom room, okay? There is a waiting room, so you'll have to wait until I see you, and then I will admit you into the lecture itself. If you have a computer with a wonky internet connection, so you have a tendency to lose connection and have to re-log in, don't feel embarrassed if I have to let you into the lecture multiple times from the waiting room. If you get kicked out and you have to log back in, you'll show up in the waiting room again. It's not a problem. I understand how it goes. I'm not going to judge. It's not a big deal. It's really easy for me to just let you back in. So don't stress about it. If you get kicked out, just log in again. Right? Okay. When it comes time for assessments, for quizzes or exams, they will be given through this link, the quizzes tab here. Okay. At the moment, there are a couple of quizzes that really shouldn't be visible yet. You can't take them yet. But our 4 quizzes for the semester will all be taken through Canvas, and our 4 exams will also all be taken through Canvas. The exams will be a mix of multiple choice, short response, and true-false questions with a few essay questions. The essay questions won't be long. They'll be maybe 2 to 4 sentences, okay? But because there are these handwritten portions to the exam, they take me a little bit longer to grade. So you'll get your exam grades back about a week after you take the exam. Any assignments, like homeworks I give you, will show up here under the Assignments tab. There's a few that are already listed, okay? Anything that's graded shows up under this tab. The quizzes link takes you to the actual quiz or exam itself. The Assignments tab shows you everything that I've assigned to you for points. Okay, so the Assignments tab isn't necessarily interactive. Right? However, the exception to that rule is if we're talking about the homeworks. Okay? If you have a homework due, and notice none of these have been assigned yet. Okay, so there's no due date because I haven't assigned this homework yet. But if I asked you to complete this assignment, you would then turn it in here using this Submit Assignment button. And there will be instructions that tell you how to turn in every assignment. All right. The Syllabus tab, this is the next really important link I want to focus on. The syllabus is available in 2 forms. You can either just read it straight off the web page here, or you can download a PDF, which I would really recommend doing. I'm going to open up the PDF so we can talk through my expectations of you for the course and what you can expect of me. All right. All right, so here's our syllabus. My contact information is up here. I prefer that you use Canvas's inbox to contact me, but you can also just email me directly, okay, right here. Here's instructions for our Zoom meetings, right? It does mention that we will not be meeting during our normal class time on Monday. However, I expect you to use that class time to complete assignments, to read over the lecture slides, or best use of that time, watch the videos, the video lectures that I post. That way, when Wednesday comes around, you're ready for our class meeting and our class discussion. There are many bullet points describing how you can interact with me. Keep in mind, campus is closed. I will not be on campus. You shouldn't be either. Okay. Here's my usual response time. I try to get back to emails within a day, but the sheer volume of emails I've been receiving this week makes me think I might need sometimes 2 days to respond if the email you send isn't an emergency. So please be understanding. If you send me an email with a question that to me doesn't seem urgent, I may prioritize it a little bit lower if I'm getting a lot of emergency emails. But I will get back to you. I do want to answer your questions. Just be patient with me, right? If you don't hear back from me, but you really need the answer, give me a day, and after that, email me again. Okay, let me know you need that information. All right, the course description is here. Okay, our course objectives and your learning outcomes are also listed. The textbook is also listed here. This is a very helpful textbook. I do assign readings from it. You are going to want to have it. Okay. Here are your technology expectations. Okay. There are some links here for Zoom resources, how to use Zoom. Any questions you might have about how to log in or how to use it on a mobile device are answered here. A couple things I want to point out. You guys get Office 365 for free as a student through Southwestern College. This will give you access to PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and all the other Office software totally free. This is a great resource, so I would take advantage of it. Okay. All right, attendance. You got to show up to class on Wednesdays. You've got to. That's how I'm taking attendance. If you have to miss class because life happens, just let me know, all right? If you know you're going to miss or suddenly something comes up, your computer dies, you have to go pick up your kid, you have to go to the doctor, just let me know. Shoot me an email and keep me informed so I know you're still interested in being in the class, okay? What I'm going to be looking for are people who don't show to class on Wednesdays and don't communicate with me about it. Because what that indicates is you're not interested in being in the class anymore. That's when I'm going to need to start dropping people. You have to miss 2 weeks of class total over the course of the semester before I drop you. So you do have a little bit of grace built in. But if you're missing classes due to circumstances you can't control, talk to me. Let me know. I'll do what I can to help. All right, let's see. College deadlines, important dates, all of that is listed here. Okay. This is the next section I want to spend some time on, assignments. Okay. You're going to get points from a variety of sources this semester. The easiest to explain are going to be the in-class activities. During our meeting times on Wednesdays, I am going to send you into small groups in our breakout rooms and give you assignments to do. Classwork is always going to be practice for exams. Okay? I'm going to give you lots of opportunities to practice using what we're learning in lecture and applying it to actual scenarios or problems that I give you. The exams are not just going to be tests on whether you know your vocabulary. You're going to have to learn concepts during lecture and then apply them on the exam itself, meaning you're going to have to use them to analyze scenarios or situations that I give you. We're going to get a lot of practice doing that during our lectures on Wednesdays. It's one of the things that makes them so valuable. I'll give you points for all that practice. Just make sure you show up and you participate. There will also be assignments that are due outside of class. You will have one large semester-long project that's going to make up the majority of your homework assignments. The project is going to require what we call off-site research. That means you're going to choose a location where you want to do this project and get yourself to it and home from it. You don't necessarily have to do this project away from your house. It's totally doable if you just stay home and utilize resources around you. But if you want to go somewhere more interesting, like a park or a wildlife preserve, you totally can. Okay? There will be homework assignments that you do outside of our class meeting times. Those assignments need to be completed on time and uploaded to Canvas. The due dates and times will always be posted on Canvas. That's where you should go to get that information. If you turn in the assignments late, which you can, it'll be a 10% penalty for every 24 hours or part thereof that the assignment is late. So if your assignment is 10 days late or more, it won't be worth any points. But as long as you turn it in within a week or 10 days, you'll at least get a couple of points out of it. It's always better to do the assignments late and turn them in for partial credit, because the assignments help you prepare for the exams as well. You'll notice all of this is exam prep. All of the work that I give you is meant to help you master this information and then show me that you've mastered it on our assessments. At the end of the semester, there is going to be a presentation. You are all required to attend everyone's presentations. You'll get points for attending these presentations and taking notes and asking pertinent questions of the presenters. Now we come to our big project. The project is called an ethogram, or an ethogram report. An ethogram is a description of the behaviors of a specific type of animal. You are going to generate an ethogram for an animal of your choosing, or a type of animal of your choosing. You are going to have to choose an animal that you can sit and watch for total 5 hours. You don't have to do 5 hours all at once. In fact, it's better if you do your assignment or you do this project 1 hour at a time. But by the end of all of that data collection, you will be able to describe the behaviors of the animal and explain why those behaviors are happening and why they're happening in the order that they're happening, or why they're happening when they're happening during the course of this animal's day. Okay? You are going to become an expert on your particular animal. Okay? Usually, the animal that you choose has to be a wild animal. I usually require you to choose something that lives, say, at the zoo or at a wildlife preserve or in your local park, and I prohibit you from using domesticated animals like farm animals or pets. But because COVID-19 has changed our world, any animal is now fine. That includes your dogs, your cats, your goats, also chickens, fish. Pet fish are great to watch, depending on the kind of fish. You can use any animal to complete this assignment. Okay? The first hour of your data collection is going to be just identifying behaviors. Figure out what this animal does during the course of that hour. Does it just lie still? Does it get up and walk? Does it eat? Does it scratch? You're going to be identifying all of those behaviors and describing them. You're then going to use that set of definitions to monitor the animal's behavior for another 4 hours. We're going to talk more about this in a couple of weeks after the class has gotten rolling, and I'll tell you exactly how you're going to approach this data collection process. Okay? But for now, what you should know is, based on that data collection, you are going to write a report, a paper. It'll be between 5 and 7 pages long by the time that you're done. But we're going to break that paper into smaller drafts over the course of the semester, so you're not trying to write it all at once. You're also going to give a mini presentation, as I said before, at the end of the semester. Your presentation is only going to be about 7 or 10 minutes long, and you're essentially going to be sharing what you learned about your particular type of animal. Okay? So it will be a presentation on your ethogram report. We'll also talk about that more, but we're going to wait until we get closer to the day of your presentations to go into detail on it. All right, there's a section here that talks about what you will be tested on your exams. Okay. My cheating policy for exams and quizzes is also listed here. Make sure this makes sense to you. By staying enrolled in the class, you are consenting to this policy. Basically, do your work by yourself. Definitely take your exams by yourself. And don't copy answers from anywhere for your exam answers. The software that detects plagiarism, meaning taking someone else's words and using them as your own, it's very, very good. I also have a lot of experience identifying answers that are plagiarized. And remember, I'm going to be reading everything you turn in, okay? Don't give me any reason to suspect that you didn't write your own answers. All right, here's your grading criteria. You're going to have 4 exams, okay? They're 100 points each, but the good news is I'm going to drop your lowest exam score, so that'll make your life easier. There will be 4 quizzes, 10 points each. All 4 of them count. You'll have between 5 and 9 homework assignments, depending on how well we're doing, depending on if I think you need more practice with certain ideas. Your presentation attendance and the feedback you give to other presenters is going to be worth 15 points. Your ethogram report and your presentation combined are 100 points. 75 for the report, 25 for the presentation. Notice that's worth an entire exam. You do not want to blow off this report. All right, the rest of the syllabus is fairly standard material. Okay. Netiquette might be new to you. This is a section that talks about your specific conduct when it comes to being in an online class. Make sure you read this because, again, by staying in the class, you are agreeing to these expectations. Okay. All right, there's information here on what happens if you are caught cheating or there's a disciplinary issue, links for student support, DSS, our emergency plan, our course map. All of that is also listed here. And at the very end is our schedule. Okay. Because of the power issues today, we're probably going to fall behind, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Okay. I am not going to force you to learn any material on your own. If we don't get through everything that's listed on the schedule this semester, that's okay. All right. We're going to go at whatever pace we need to in order to make sure that you guys have enough time to master what I'm teaching you. Right? I'm going to be posting a lecture later on tonight or tomorrow that will introduce you to how we approach studying animal behavior. That's going to be your first actual lecture on material. Okay? Each week, what I list is the date of our actual lecture, okay, which is the Wednesday, but this is what you're responsible for doing for the rest of the week. Everything listed here for each week is what you need to get through in that 7-day period. Due dates are always going to be on Sunday nights. So if you're confused about something, you can wait until Wednesday, go over it with me during lecture, and you'll still have a solid 4 days before you have to turn it in. Okay? So assignments will go out on Monday or Tuesday. They'll be due Sunday night. So it should give you a nice chunk of time to get everything done. Okay? Due dates and assignments are listed on here as well. And even more importantly, your quiz dates, okay, and your exam dates. Exams are highlighted in yellow to make sure you can't miss them. The exam dates also tell you what material is covered on each exam. Notice that the exams aren't cumulative. Exam number 2 is only on materials from weeks 4 through 6. Essentially, it's everything you'll have learned since the first exam. Okay? That also goes for exam number 4, which is technically it's our final, but it only covers materials from weeks 11 to 14. Okay? All right. Those are the basics you need to know for this class. If you have any questions about anything, please, please, please feel free to email me. Okay? I'll see you soon.